Are you looking for a small style pocket carry knife? Well, Vosteed just sent me over their new Chipmunk. This is a new smaller style pocket knife. As you can see, it's not the biggest thing out there. It's a little on the tiny side, if you would. But anyway, let's throw it on the bench, take a look at it. Then I'll tell you about price and all that kind of stuff. We can talk about the kind of steel it has and everything. I don't know, a little first look, easy kind of overview of it. Let's take a look at it. All right. So we've already shown off the old Chipmunk here, which I've already said I think is one of the best newer knife styles that I've seen. We've got the button style lock there, and it's got this interesting kind of front flipper there that I really like. And front flippers have really become something that I really appreciate. I love the flipping style, but the ones with the little back flipper on it, like my Benchmade here, have a tendency in the pocket to accidentally get pressed. And this one's bit me before in the pocket, and it comes open like this, and then you reach in and you get a little stabby there. And so not exactly my favorite. I mean, I love these, but it's a serious drawback for me. So when the front flippers came out, I mean, I love the button style's nice, but the front flip is just so much easier there to use, at least for me. Well, recently, Vosteed sent me their new Chipmunk. And yes, I did get somewhere here a sticker that goes with it. I think my wife took my sticker. Hold on. I found my sticker. They each come with these little stickers. She already stole that one. As soon as I opened up the box, it was gone. But anyway, they sent me this one. And as you can see, it is a much smaller knife there. And I have really big paws. So smaller blades, I mean, this one's decent. I like the size of this. It's not too big. It's not overly aggressive. It's not super tactical. But it's nice. And man, I could fidget with this one all day long. And when they sent me this, my first thing my eyes locked onto was the thumb stud. And I am not a fan of thumb studs. I know I differ with Marine X on that one, but thumb studs, not my thing. I guess I don't have the manual dexterity there to get it out. I mean, I can do it, but it's not convenient. It's not easy. I like the scales on it. The scales are let me see if I can get, oh, there we go. If you can get a nice texture on them. It's got a liner lock, which is not my favorite, but on something this size, I get it. I get the liner lock. The clip on it, it's not like super deep carry, but it's nice. It's standard. It's reversible left to right, not up to down, which is fine because I prefer, point up, because that way when I reach in, I pull it out. Well, then I'm ready to deploy it. And somehow I had this for several days, and somehow I missed this. I guess I just thought it was a weird piece of metal there. I didn't until I ran my finger over it. I'm like, oh, it's a front flipper. I don't know how I just did notice it. It just kind of, maybe because it's black, it just kind of blended in. But whoops, almost I got to hold it further down. But it's smooth. It's nice. I like that. I do wish it had the button. It's not as like with the Chipmunk here. I can all day long. That is just loose and nice and clean. Look at that. But for something a little bit smaller, I was astounded. And this is so nice with that. And here's the other thing. Once that gets opened like this, and let me move the little Chipmunk out of the way so I don't accidentally dice him up. But once this gets opened, you get this great finger groove revealed here. And look at the depth on that. Once you pick that up, even with my giant meaty paws, my finger, look at it, it's at least halfway in there. And that is tight in there. It's got some jimping on the back, which honestly is ineffectual. It's, at this part, it's so low, but and I'm going to be holding it back here. It'd actually be weird to hold it up there. And this is not a big knife. This is not something you're going to be doing some serious carving with and stuff like that. Plus, you've got the thumb stud that can actually get you a little better grip there on the side if you have to do that. But between this and the front flipper, it is super small. And maybe for some light duty carry during the summer kind of months, You throw it in a small bag kind of thing. It's not a bad little knife. I really like it. There's some things I wish maybe were a little different. I wish it had a bit more texture here to the scales because it is so small. But the reality is, once you get it deployed, and you get that finger grip, that's all the grip you really need. It's super deep in there, giving you a great solid grip on that. But there's that. And that's let me turn it over. There's that, and then with the comparing it again to the Chipmunk there, you can see both of those with each other. So here we go. Here's the Amazon listing for it. It's the Vosteed Chipmunk. The steel is 14C28N. Multi-deployment here. Now, here's the one thing. They say that there are 3 forms of deployment here. You've got a front flip, a rear flipper, and the thumb stud. And I'm gonna disagree with him on this one. All right, the thumb stud, it's for its size. It's got a great thumb stud. Good size. I'm not a fan of thumb studs, as I mentioned. The rear flipper, that's awesome. It works great. In fact, it's even so pronounced there that it can get hooked. You could hook it on something. You could hook it on your belt or something like that. That's great. But the front flip on this, no. The front flip is non-existent. I could kind of do it. I'm worried about cutting myself. That's not a thing. Even with my other hand, I can't even get. Look at this. If I try to do it with my other hand, there, I could deploy like that. But is that a thing? I mean, why do that when I could just flip it with the thumb? Anyway, it's ridiculous. There's really 2 deployment styles. I don't know why they try to add in that there's a third. It is what it is. I like the knife. I think it's a solid knife. But the question is, do you think it's a solid knife at the price they're asking? $59. It seems a little on the high side for me. There is a 10% off. That's going to knock $6 off of that. That makes it a little bit better. I'm a huge fan of the other stuff that they've sent over and I've taken a look at. I really like this. I'm trying to come to terms with the $59 out there. You know what? I'm old. I'm 55, and I feel like I look at anything these days, and I'm like, well, that's just too much money. Back in my day, it cost a nickel. I'm quickly becoming that guy. I'm this far from being out on the lawn shouting at the kids to get off of it. So, put me in a place. Tell me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong about this? Anyway, let me know what you think. We had it in Deals of the Week yesterday. We got some feedback on it. A lot of people like it. Again, some people thought it was a little too expensive. Then again, those are the Deals of the Week people. They're always looking for the biggest, bestest bargain out there. Anyway, you're probably more knife kind of folks. Let me know what you think. Anyway, till next time, you all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.